9 matches and 33 rounds, lost 6, won 23, and it's been 33. That Haywire movie with the girl that got, like, the Jason Bourne movies got how they did with the viewer, the real, they keep, like, being, like, weird with the social media conglomerate or whatever the word, like how Resident Evil 5 said conglomerate of the pharmaceutical world. Just because you've been on medicine doesn't mean you're a fucking nutcase, and I haven't done anything towards anyone. It's been since 2015 I had this profile on YouTube, and I have nothing bad ill will towards anyone. If people watch and think that I'm a nutcase that plays video games, and I can't really defend myself and advocate that I have glaucoma in both eyes, and I play this as a spare thing to get my mind off having the ailments. And if they don't believe me, then I had proof by video and doctor statements and stuff, and they can't say it's fraud. When you had set documentations of stuff, as long as nothing occurs where I can't show that, then they can't have something along the lines of another hearing in terms of stuff that you're playing on, stuff that it's basically from 2015 onwards that having to be acknowledged by people and get pranked and all sorts of other stuff by people that have cruel intentions towards you is messed up. I know nobody really watches this, like what I post, but they can't go forth and say that you're some nutcase that's been in a hospital and it's only when you hadn't established taking the pills during a set time and had a trial over something that they basically steer clear of basically making false statements and calling you a nutcase when I'm not in their face bothering them. Only on one occasion that they called the cops because they were laughing hysterically saying they get everything and being weird with the person who has set disabilities when they broke the law by making fun of somebody who said has those set disabilities. They can get thrown in for making false statements when everything had my last name on law paper that I had gotten from the law firm itself, hence the law firm hoodie. That's why I say on Twitter the law firm has them all on report, because why would they want something that has my last name on it out of being cruel assholes that have no lives, that just take people to court over stupid trivial shit that has no say in taking someone's house away when they've done it multiple times. They should prosecute them for doing creepy shit to people. I'm gonna say they made false statements when if anyone shows up in any kind of thing, when I had jury summons that there's nothing on my background check indicating that I'm some sort of sleazeball. I don't know how else to explain it other than putting in that terminology, and they can't really say anything when they have to basically think that you're some sort of like weird guy, but you can't do that when you just have people to advocate for you when they're no longer there. How do you advocate for yourself if they're acting like the mafia? And they give commerce to people that have weird, fucked up ways of doing people raggedy off shit that doesn't make no sense to do off people that have disabilities that can't help themselves in terms of stuff that is wrong with them. I wouldn't have had have eye surgery or whatever then if I knew they were gonna like basically make me basically out to be some sort of like, how else to explain, like, if they think you're retarded, then that's on them, but they can get prosecuted if caught in the act and saying all sorts of negative shit via social media and being weird with you in terms of stuff that happens when you're faced with a dilemma of not knowing who to trust.
You'll enjoy this, trust me. Ready?
Round one. Ready, go!
That was a nut job. I'd be screaming and hollering hysterically. You know, they would have to have video evidence. They can't just say that this guy basically stole something from someone that had my first name but didn't have my last name and made false statements. And I got excellent. That's perfect, meaning that I'm sane-minded and they can't fucking kill me after my parents died or try to throw me away in prison because they think it's fraud. They keep calling me a noob and shit, and I just keep getting angry at them. I don't say anything to them, but they're psycho. They wouldn't have wrote an article about me, and they know it's me because my appearance hasn't changed, and they're trying to say that all sorts of fucked up negative shit via like walking past here thinking they're smooth, recording the houses thinking I'm doing something like wrong when I got another accident. If I was some nut job, I wouldn't be able to fucking maneuver the controller with the button preps of the move like that. If I was a nut job, I'd be screaming and hollering at them. Anyone would be mad if they're trying to take their house away in terms of trying to say that it belonged to someone else, the art and all sorts of other shit, when they're being rude with you. I'm not after anyone's stuff in terms of them trying to say that basically you're retarded for acting like you're the mafia when they're acting like that. And why would I be cleared by official hospitals in terms of stuff that I had documentations of? Hence why I put my facial face with stitches, because I thought they were going to kill me and take my stuff. And if that does occur, they'll investigate and prosecute whoever does that. If I was a nutcase, the camera wouldn't be positioned in such a way that it frames your whole entire body. It would be crooked, upside down. I'd be screaming. At one point in time, I had enough video evidence, and I forwarded to the people there at my therapist's office, because they force you to get therapy sessions when you're on set things to have more time to be able to explain my side, and it can't be two-sided or one-sided. I mean, to where they make you seem out to be coherent and throw you in something when you're able to demonstrate that you're not coherent and know what time and date it is. It's February, the month, the year is 2022, and I'm not fucking stupid. They can't even like prosecute me if I'm in my own set house and I'm not even saying anything negative to them, and they made false statements saying that the art was stolen from somebody at Strausser's when everything had my last name Ortega, and made false statements, and then acted cute and funny when they laughed and said they were going to take the house away. And I had video evidence of this dude laughing hysterically saying a bunch of shit. And I talked to the therapist at Truman. I know they see this, so if something does occur, they can prosecute them for being cruel to a disabled person who doesn't want to be bothered by them and doesn't do anything towards anyone if I haven't had anything on my record to be on YouTube live streaming. They want to delete my stuff off there and said I shouldn't have a YouTube channel, when YouTube themselves said they were concerned by an individual that watched my stuff back before we moved. We should have been able to prosecute David and Tina Mercer, or Mercer, and whatever the fuck you say their name. They're cowards. They take people to court, take their houses away, and I thought you only could sue people so many times, or do that so many times. They're not housing authority. I wouldn't be able to win 10 times on that shit if I was retarded. If I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, I wouldn't be able to throw that character via the moveset. And they're calling me noob and stupid, I'm retarded, I'm a nut job, all sorts of shit because I committed suicide based upon what they said and what they were trying to do to me wasn't fair. They're all against me. They can't do that because I'm clearly sane-minded to be able to stream this, and I'm not saying that I'm like basically been bombarded by stupid people that act retarded. This is based upon somebody who says that you're a criminal when you haven't been prosecuted, when you haven't done anything towards anyone that mind their business and not have anything towards you to have say that you're some sort of nutcase. Who cares if he's a carpenter? They can't say I threatened him because he threatened me prior saying that it was stolen when nothing was stolen goods when I showed him receipts and that. Had locked video of it, of my last name Ortega isn't Salvatore or Locks or whatever. They're trying to do a pyramid scheme where the dude tries to take your identity and your house away. If my parents pass, they're going to try to take my house away, and they can't just do that based upon false accusations. They can't have two people. They have to record you in the process of being like that. In the middle of an argument, you don't do hard prison sentences over a dispute of stuff that they're trying to dispute, that I didn't draw anything, that I wasn't in the Kaufman Foundation, that I wasn't able to do anything that I demonstrated clear as day. They're just not stable-minded people to do that to somebody who's been in the hospital system because they made fun of you. I wouldn't be able to win records with the Sarah Bryan character if I was some lunatic. I was in there for having glaucoma, and I didn't want to state my business, but I put all of that out there because he kept trying to say it was fraud. If it was fraud, you'd be seeing me in nightclubs with strippers and shit, drinking alcoholic beverages, and I'm not doing any of that slimy shit, so they can't say that they basically have you be a person who's basically getting punished by people that don't have no lives, that just open the screen all day and just watch. And who cares if you talk to other people that they don't want nobody to live at this house or houses that we used to have, because they prosecute everybody around this neighborhood and take their houses away. If they do that so many times, I thought there was a limit to people they can sue or take to court over menial shit that doesn't make sense. To have somebody that had the house in the first place get their house taken away by a creepy landscaper carpenter guy. That doesn't make sense. They had no right to say anything bad towards you if you haven't done anything physical. If I mowed the lawn out there, so what if I'm doing that for my parents who don't have anyone else to help them in terms of stuff, that no one is lifting a finger for them other than me and what I receive as benefits that I get there. So what if I receive benefits? My grandpa and his brother served in the military for so long, and they try to say the world doesn't owe me anything. The other neighbor that goes along with this asshole guy. If they play this back in court, then so what? They're lame to watch somebody who's not threatening them, that they're still like assholes to put like some false statements made by them in terms of them being weird with you and being weird with other people, that they have no right to basically make false accusations and shit based upon how you look or what you do in your spare time. if it's not on their property and I'm not harming them. So they can't go forth and say you're a lunatic when you're not screaming at live stream and you're not like saying all sorts of negative shit towards them. You have all these people that talk shit, but they're not basically in my shoes to know how you're going through what you have wrong with you in terms of stuff that they just say negative shit without realizing they can't like have them take it to court over menial shit that only makes sense to them to try to screw someone who's living with disabilities. They'll throw them away for acting irrational and having to live with these nutcases that take people to court over codes before and over having them be like lose their house over shit that they shouldn't have them being able to live in a house then if said thing is wrong with it, and then they get no explanation on why there's like a stuff that you have to go through to have a house and stuff, and basically act like they're housing authority when they're not housing authority. They're just fucking fraudulent people that have some sort of like fucking landscaping company that are probably doing shady shit behind the scenes, selling K2 and all that shit, because they all like that boxer guy, that Matt Anani, but they all had cases that are clearly in the law of court, having trunks full of K2, selling a bunch of drugs and shit, and having them act like he gets your house in terms of stuff that parents work, and a girl that sits on her ass and jumps on a trampoline all day topless, probably in front of kids at a creepy igloo. I'm not on any drugs to be hospitalized in terms of stuff that you have to go through a process of being screened with blood being checked through my arm and having photographs and stuff and being creepy and weird towards you. That's why I have all my stuff on private and I barely post my personal life, but feel angry about this fucking dude with this fucking shit that he keeps on and on and on. If I was some noob, I wouldn't be able to have like Wi-Fi set up to where I'm streaming this. I know basically saying negative stuff and then basically having negative stuff happen to you isn't right, but figured it wasn't fair for them to be able to do that without why how come I'm not locked up now in terms of waiting until that's they're being cowards, thinking that they're slick, and if they don't like you then that's basically discrimination upon a person. How like Mako's Rotten Life with the kangaroo wannabe character, whatever the fuck that animal is, like hybrid thing, gets fucked over by the government too, and basically how that character demonstrates back then that how smooth sailing stuff that life's never a guarantee, and having something guaranteed to you when it's all demonstrated and you have all the proof in the world. Hence why I made that fucking Clay world. I got to the 12th grade and have proof of it. This basketball came from middle school. I wouldn't have had it if I had basically graduated middle school. And if they don't believe me, that's on them. And I hate having posted my information out, but they made it seem like I was redundant and didn't know how to do anything because I was in a mental ward. I wouldn't be able to illustrate stuff even on my hand at that time, and I wouldn't let anyone draw on my hand, and I had videos of me live streaming stuff. They think they're cute and funny, and then if you fuck one of them up, you'll get prosecuted like I did that Samaturo back then, because he made me walk in 3 hours in the snow after basically being bombarded by his retarded friends talking a bunch of shit. And I had proof of it at one point in time and gave to Evan and Andrew because of what they had said, be it at the Royals Foundation or the Royals Union Station thing. Then they were saying that everything belonged to Samaturo and it had Ortega. And I understand why he wanted some of my last name being weird with you. I wouldn't know the button combinations and shit if I was so fucking stupid to post basically me winning this many times on live streams and stuff. they can't prosecute me and all them fucked up surgeries. I have to go forth and be part of something when there's nothing on my background check indicating that I'm some sort of nutcase. But I haven't physically done anything physical to anyone other than whatever the person had done to me back then, and basically wanted to sue them because it has no right for them for it to be like referred to as all sorts of shit outside of this. I'm trying to make it seem like I was redundant, didn't know how to do anything. I wouldn't be able to press this button like that and be able to maneuver the character that many times if I was some sort of redundant asshole that didn't know how to do anything. How long it takes to find an opponent on something that trying, dude. If I can get close enough to where it shows I had like a head concussion wound.